Welcome to the Money Tips No One Told You podcast. I'm Heather with First Pioneers Federal Credit Union, and I'll be your host. At First Pioneers, we're dedicated to caring for our members' financial needs with heart, and that means providing more than just financial services. It's about empowering you to take control of your financial destiny through knowledge and understanding. This podcast is all about guiding our listeners toward a brighter financial future. So get ready to embark on a journey towards financial well-being, because at First Pioneers, we believe that when our members are financially successful, we all succeed. Stay tuned for a wealth of knowledge and inspiration. Today, we're going to dive into life and personal finance. And maybe you're thinking, well, we do that all the time. And you're right, we do. But today I'm thinking a lot more about life and just kind of how life never stands still. You know, it's ever changing, and each stage of life tends to bring its own set of financial challenges and opportunities as well. And that's whether you're just starting out or merging finances with a partner. Maybe you're a seasoned professional. Maybe you're changing careers, or it's time to move into retirement. But adjusting your financial plans through all these various stages of life, it's not just helpful, it's essential. It's how you maintain that long-term stability that, I think most of us are looking for, right? And it's how you achieve your goals. So as our personal goals change, our financial strategy should change too. So today I want to break down some ideas of how to adapt your plan as you navigate through these various phases. Let's start at the beginning. Are you a young adult that's kind of just entering the workforce, maybe just getting out on your own? This is it's such a great time in life. And I know it can feel a little scary, and goodness knows with the economy that we're facing today, that doesn't really help that. But it can also be a really, really exciting time. And you may be starting to make those first big financial decisions. And the key here is to start strong by establishing a really solid foundation. So what do you want to do there? You want to start with a really detailed budget, where you're factoring in all your new income with this new job maybe that you have, and any new living expenses. Maybe you've moved out and things have changed a little bit. So you really want to develop that detailed budget, and then you want to stick to that budget. That is such a great habit to establish, and this is the perfect time to do that. It's also the perfect time to build an emergency fund to cover any unexpected expenses. In many ways, this should really be a priority. Again, as you're starting out and establishing foundations, it's the perfect time to form these habits, these savings habits. And the goal here is to save enough in your emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. And this is also the time to think about retirement. And I know what you're thinking. I'm 21 years old. That's years away, light years away. And, it feels that way. But trust me, it's going to get here before you know it. And now is the time. And again, you're building that habit. You're building that habit of savings. So you get used to that money going to this account. So it just becomes a very normal thing for you. But it also means that you're just going to compound that interest, think about how many years you're going to gain interest on for your money if you start now at this, young age, in your 20s, let's say. And if your employer does any kind of matching contribution, it's like free money, y'all. Put that money in, let them match that contribution, and it's just going to build so much faster. You can also be a little more aggressive with how it's invested. And I'm going to quickly go over this. We'll do this in another podcast. But the money is basically invested in a way that you choose. You decide how much risk is involved. So investments obviously can go up and down. It depends on the markets and how they're looking. One day it may be really up. Another day you may be down. But when you're younger, you have more time to recover if there's some kind of loss in the market. But you've got plenty of time before you would actually need that money. So you could do well during those highs while you're young. And the younger you start out, the more you'll have later. And trust me, like I said, it is here before you know it. So even if you start small, just start. And finally, you may want to be more aggressive in trying to pay those loans off that you may have accumulated during school, those student loans. And that's going to free up that income in the future. And if you're just starting out, you probably don't have a lot of the same financial obligations as you'll have later in life. So, it's really worth taking advantage of that while you can and while it's a bit easier. The next phase is kind of growing into midlife. Maybe you've reached midlife. That's where your career and your family tends to change. And of course, those changes change your financial responsibilities. In this phase, this is a time where you may be buying a home or expanding your family. So you're doing things like adding mortgages, maybe even bigger car notes, and all the things that come with just, having more people in your house. You may be considering investing in more education at that point, for yourself, more training to help you advance in your career. And then, of course, there's also savings for your kids' educations. So, of course, with all these different things, you're going to want to adjust that budget and accommodate for all those different expenses and possibly different incomes that have been happening. You're also going to need to review and make adjustments to all of your insurance coverages, as you're going to want to upgrade your life and your disability insurance. Because now you have more liabilities to be responsible for. So you need to make sure that you have all those covered. And remember those retirement strategies we just talked about? Well, now's the time to take a look at your retirement strategy. You're probably at a stage where you're most likely still young enough to take some greater risk and still have time to recover if you need to. Maybe also look at your contribution amounts. Do you need to maybe raise those a little bit? But take a look and make sure that you're on track for where you need to be for your retirement. Then you have what are often referred to as major life changes. And that may be a marriage. It may be a divorce. Maybe even a career change. But any of these things can have really a significant impact on your finances. So any of these scenarios that may come about should really prompt you to take a fresh look at your finances. Of course, you would need to adjust your budget depending on what's happening. If you have a marriage, that's going to possibly add to your income. If there's a divorce, that's going to take away from your income. So you're going to need to look at those things and make those adjustments. It may also require that you make changes to your estate plans. You may need to update your will and your beneficiaries. And of course, make sure that your savings and investment strategies are now aligned with whatever this new situation is. I think one thing a lot of people forget about is a change like that. You're going to need to look at your taxes, look at how you're filing, because that is most likely going to change. And it may actually also change what you're withholding from your paycheck. So you're going to want to take a look at those numbers. This is definitely a place that may require consulting with a financial advisor. They're going to be able to provide the guidance that you need through a lot of these things. And of course, they're going to be able to offer you personalized advice for your specific needs, because of course, everyone's needs are going to be different. So that is absolutely a time that we would recommend visiting with a financial planner. And lastly, are you preparing for retirement? If so, it's time to shift your focus towards preserving wealth and planning for income distributions. You'll want to evaluate your investment risk. You want to see what your tolerance is as you reach this time. Maybe consider moving some investments to some more conservative options, as you want to make sure that your nest egg that you've been building is protected. It's also really critical to plan for future healthcare costs because, let's be honest, they're going to likely be higher as we all age. So we need to make sure that all those things are taken care of. You also want to focus on any debt reduction if you haven't already done that. It may also be a time to really maximize those retirement contributions. You want to make sure that you've funded your chosen lifestyle as you enter those golden years. And of course, I have a bonus tip today. I find when we talk a lot about, financial resilience and, creating that plan so that we can quickly bounce back from anything or adjust as things change in life, I think we sometimes forget how important it is to maintain our emotional resilience and our mental health as we go through our financial journey. And we've discussed this before in another episode, but it's really important to note it again. Our financial well-being is really deeply intertwined with our overall mental and emotional health, but we often just kind of overlook it, or maybe we try to just kind of push it down and ignore it. And that's just something that we have to make sure that we're not doing. We have to make sure that we're taking care of that part of our lives as well. And let's be honest about this too. Often financial planning and just, finances in general can really bring about some strong emotions, and it can be a source of really, really difficult stress for a lot of people. And when you're in that level of stress, or you're having that stress, it can really affect how we behave with our finances. I mean, how often have you been there? I know I have been. That, your anxiety about money, maybe you're just uncertain of your future, and then you end up making basically poor decisions, or you're just kind of frozen in fear and you're unable to move forward. Those are just some of the reasons that, learning how to manage our money and creating those healthy habits with our money can help us not only be financially resilient, but also emotionally resilient as well. And doing those things will give us the confidence, that we're making sound decisions, and confidence that we can adapt when these changes come. Being present and mindful of your situation, being realistic about your goals and about your finances, and of course, getting help. And I mean that financially, but I also mean if you need the support of a mental health professional. All of those things are really a great base and can be really beneficial as you move forward in your journey. Because you want to be prepared financially, but you also want to be prepared to handle those emotional ups and downs that life may throw your way. So when you're aware of this connection and you acknowledge it, then it's easier to address it and start to create that healthy relationship with money, which of course, like we said, makes this journey easier to navigate. And here's the truth. Financial plans are rarely one and done, but doing these things, preparing, this will help you confidently embrace these changes. And then, of course, regularly reviewing and adjusting your financial strategy as you need to. That's going to help not only ensure that you're aligned with your current needs, wherever that is for you, it's also going to ensure that you're prepared for a more comfortable and secure future. Some of the biggest keys to financial resiliency and stability is to stay informed and to make proactive adjustments and to get the advice that you need. And don't forget, you can visit with a certified financial counselor at either branch of First Pioneers for help as you navigate your financial journey. We're always here for you, so please reach out anytime you need. That wraps up another episode of Money Tips No One Told You. We hope you enjoyed the insights and tips shared today. If you have any questions, thoughts, or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, feel free to reach out. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us tailor future content to better serve you. There are several ways you can find us if you need further information or need to speak with a financial counselor. Visit us in person in Lafayette or New Iberia, Louisiana, or at firstpioneers.com to find out how to become a member of our family and find other financial information. Also, be sure and check out the show notes for important links and important information. Your financial journey is important to us, and we're here to support you every step of the way. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.